Ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea how to start this video. It's a video about Australia Day, and I deliberately made it months after Australia Day because I didn't want to have this emotionally charged video where people in the comment section are fighting and arguing and all that shit. That's not what I wanted. I wanted an opportunity to actually talk about an important topic.
Fewer than 1/3 of Australians support a change of date for Australia Day.
Thousands rallying to change the date.
Today is a mourning day. Today many of my old people before me stood up and fought for this day not to be celebrated.
People were ready for a change. They don't want to have the country the way it is anymore.
There's never been a treaty or an agreement between the British Crown and the Aboriginal nation.
But it's so hard to know where to begin. Why? Well, because this is such an important topic, a serious topic for a lot of people. There are a lot of people hardline on one side of the other, and I feel like we need to somehow meet in the middle to get past this as a nation. One thing that I've noticed when I've travelled around the world is how different countries interact with different cultures. Now let's take New Zealand for example. When I went over to New Zealand, I was very surprised to see how the white side of the New Zealand population interacts with people with Maori heritage. You see, they use words in the Maori language in their everyday conversations. Words like kia ora, which I mispronounced and offended an entire group of people. That is used at the start of a phrase or a sentence or a statement to wish people well. And that is part of the Maori language, and it's just instilled into the New Zealand vernacular. The use of the haka is another great example. A Maori tradition that also incorporates white people at the start of rugby games, rugby league games, a whole manner of different sports. This traditional war dance used by everyone. It seems like over in New Zealand, the incorporation of the Indigenous heritage culture and belief systems and everything to do with that Indigenous culture, First Nations culture, is much more accepted. It seems over the Tasman in Australia, there is this enormous divide between people who are not Indigenous and Indigenous people. And I don't think that I'm speaking out of turn here, but I do really believe that that is fucking bullshit. When I say speaking out of turn, I mean I'm trying not to piss off either side of the argument about things like Australia Day. What I am suggesting here, and I don't think this will piss anybody off because it's a pretty fucking calm statement to make, I just wish there was no divide in this country and we could all just get along regardless of fucking colour. The white English side of this country doesn't have the connection with the Indigenous people that the New Zealanders have. And when I say white English side of this country, I'm talking about people whose fucking ancestors 250 years ago were sent over here on boats. I just feel like they have been a part of Australia for a fucking long time, and basically everyone's on an equal playing field at this point in time. Even most people with Greek heritage or fucking Indian heritage or Chinese heritage, half of these people, their ancestors have been here for hundreds of years as well. Like, we are at this point right now, ladies and gentlemen, where we are a modern, multicultural country, and I just fucking truly believe that there should be no divide between white and not white. And in the reality of the world, that doesn't actually exist. When you go out into the world, when you're on a tram, when you're on a train, when you're in a crowded space, there is no divide. You don't give a fuck what someone's colour is. You're just living your normal life. But when you play by the rules of social media and Twitter and news and all that type of shit, it is very, very real. Everything's about race. Everything's about colour, gender, all this fucking bullshit. And I know that doesn't represent the real world, but that's how our problems are portrayed in the media. I hate the fact that there is this constant and unnecessary divide between white and non-white fucking Australians. It is cultivated by the media, it is cultivated by politicians, and it is just fucking shit. The media love this divide, and there is no time better to really cement how big the divide is than January 26, every single bloody year when they talk about Australia Day, about how we need to change the date, about how offensive Australia Day is, about how many racist bogans get out on Australia Day. The media love this shit. It pushes their fucking narrative. It pushes you to their website and they make money from ad revenue. That's all they're fucking doing. They don't give a shit about Aboriginal people. They're making cash. That divisive dribble is designed to upset, annoy, and just piss people off. On both sides. They don't care, and if you think any differently, you are a fool. I don't know if I'm alone in this concept that I have in my mind, but I feel, as a white dude who has Scottish and Irish heritage, I feel like I am more closely related, or I relate to Indigenous culture of Australia more than I do to fucking English culture. Because my family has been in this country for 200 years. I feel a part of this nation exactly the same as Indigenous people feel a part of this nation. And it is by that connection that I feel, and this is just me speaking out of my arse here, that I feel there is a connection between Indigenous people and their history and their heritage, their culture, and the life that I lead. And I know that when I talk about race and all this type of shit, I need to be conscious of the fact that I grew up in a household where basically, hey, if you're Aboriginal, that's wonderful, come on in, let's have a beer. If you're this, let's have a beer. It doesn't matter, right? It matters not what colour you are, what culture you are, what religion you are. It matters the type of person that you are. That is the household that I grew up in, but I know other people did not. Now, I need to remember that. I need to be conscious of that. But what I am trying to say here, ladies and gentlemen, is I feel that most white Australians and most Indigenous Australians have so much fucking in common with the life that they live, with the culture that they exist in, that the heritage that they both share, that why the fuck are we arguing? I belong to Australia, as will my children. Aboriginal people belong to Australia, as do their children, as did my great-great-grandparents, and as will my great-great-grandkids. They will call this place home. In this country right here, we have the opportunity to be one group of people. And I think that is so very important. Regardless of race and colour and all that shit, we have that opportunity right here. Now, are there groups of people that need special assistance? Are there Aboriginal, Indigenous societies out there in the fucking outback in the middle of nowhere who need special assistance? My word, they do. Are there white, Asian, brown people who need special assistance? Of course. I genuinely believe the second we stop worrying about race at every possible moment, we will be better as a nation. And if you're an Aboriginal person or an Indigenous person that constantly talks about how much you hate white people and how fucking pig-headed white people are and all that shit, that's just as bad as a white dude saying how bad Aboriginal people are. It's just as racist, and you are part of the fucking problem, mate. Quick interjection. You may say that because in my stand-up shows I talk about Aboriginal people and I make Aboriginal jokes, that I'm a bad person and I shouldn't be talking about this. Well, if you think that, fuck off, firstly. Secondly, come and see me live. It's a great show, touring the country. Number 3, mate, there is not even a fucking slither of hatred in my show. I know a lot of people think that I'm this hateful, horrible human being. I just wish I got an opportunity to meet more people. Then you'd probably see that I'm not. But I focus on everyone, okay, in that stand-up show. The big focus isn't so much black, white, brown, Muslim, Christian, Catholic. It's about people. I make jokes. They're pretend. They're not real. And a lot of the times, the jokes, the horrible ones, the dark humour, it's there to elicit a response of laughter when there is no other response to give. Oftentimes, people laugh at those jokes because they're so fucked up, they think to themselves, oh my God, I'm a piece of shit for laughing. And that's why I write those jokes, because I enjoy those type of jokes. If you don't like those type of jokes, don't come. Don't come to the fucking show. As for the day that this video is about, January 26th, Australia Day. If we change the date, which is the request of a lot of Indigenous people and a lot of white people who listen to Triple J. If we change the date, it won't fix anything. It's not going to solve any problems, but I understand why some people would want it changed. They see that as the date that white people landed in Australia and ruined Indigenous lives. Okay, I see where you're coming from. But it also won't fix a thing. The angry social justice warriors will just find another thing to whinge about. That's just how they work. The people on Twitter will just find another thing to whinge about. That's just how they work. So, should we change the date? My original thought was no. Okay? I think we deserve, as a nation, a day to celebrate a great country. I think we should. But as I got older, I started to think to myself, maybe we should. And here's the reason I think we maybe should change the date of Australia Day. If there is a Aboriginal elder, I thought about it like this. If there's a grandma or an auntie in the Indigenous community who every Australia Day doesn't feel safe to walk around, feels upset, maybe cries, then fuck me. Change it. Honestly. I don't want to have that effect just because of the colour of my skin or a day that I celebrate. Change it. It doesn't matter that much. As long as there is a day for us to celebrate, most people just like it because it's a public holiday, but anyway, as long as there is a day for us as a nation to come together, all of these people that have come from war-torn countries come over here, all these people from other parts of the world that have come over here, people who are born here, who have tens of thousands of years of history here, as long as there is a day for all of us, then change it. I genuinely want to see the day where this country grows to a position where everybody in it feels as comfortable as each other. They feel comfortable in their skin and they don't need to worry about where their fucking ancestors were from or what colour they are or what language they speak or what fucking whose dick they suck. Who gives a fuck, right? We should all be living in a nation where we're all comfortable around each other and we're all calm and relaxed and just fucking chilled. That's the Australian way, to just fucking, it's all good, mate. Too easy, big fella, you know? Point being of this entire video, we should have a day that represents us all. Big, black, brown, small, white, whatever. All right, we should all have a day that celebrates us as a nation and everything we've achieved and everything we have every single fucking day. So, the question of this video, should we change the date? The answer to that is, I don't know. All right, I got no idea. All right, I see the pros, I see the cons, I see all that shit. So, I want to know in the comment section below what you think. Do you think what I said about changing it because it does upset some people, is that a fair statement? Or is basically what I suggested about the woke people going to happen? That one thing changes and then they just pile on about something else. Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this whole thing. Peace in the Middle East, mid-extinct. Keep it moist. Toodaloo, bye-bye.